What's going on, guys? It's Investing Hustler here, and today I have some very interesting news for you guys. I have some news on the economy. I have some pretty interesting drama going on with Trump and Jeff Bezos. Of course, I have some news about Aurora Cannabis. And we're going to touch up on some stuff I talked about on the live stream this morning that maybe most of you guys missed. For example, Aurora Cannabis announced when they're going to have a conference call for their earnings. So let's just get this video started. There's lots of things to talk about, so we might as well get started right now. But before we get started, just don't forget to leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the markets, why the marijuana industry is declining right now. But yeah, let's get started. So Canada blows past forecast by adding 67,000 new jobs in January. So the economy is looking very good for Canada. And most of those jobs came from Ontario. As you can see right here, Ontario was the source of 41,000 of those new jobs. Quebec accounted for 16,000. Saskatchewan and Alberta lost jobs in January, which could be a bigger consideration for the Bank of Canada than the national picture. So yeah, the economy is looking good for Canada, minus Saskatchewan and Alberta losing jobs. But yeah, that's it. If you guys want to read this article, just go on Yahoo Finance and type in Canada blows past forecast by adding 67,000 new jobs in January. So that's looking like good news. So let's move on to the Jeff Bezos and Trump drama. So I found this actually pretty funny. Let's see what you guys think. Title is Bezos Stunning Blackmail Charge Intensifies Proxy War with Trump. So a long simmering feud between Donald Trump and Jeff Bezos took a bizarre turn after the multi-billionaire accused allies of the president of Barnsley trying to extort him. In a surprising move that lit up social media feeds worldwide, the Amazon Inc. founder and chief executive officer published a blog post on Thursday alleging that the publisher of the National Enquirer tried to blackmail him with embarrassing photos of Bezos and a woman who wasn't his wife, including sexually charged selfies. So I just want to move on to what Trump said. So Trump, in turn, has frequently criticized Bezos and his newspaper, The Washington Post, for everything from taxes and shipping fees to printing fake news. On Twitter last month, Trump called the tech executive Jeff Bezos. So I just found that kind of funny. Sounds like typical Trump, Jeff Bezos. I'll give Trump a little bit of credit for that because that is kind of funny. But yeah, I just wanted to touch up on that real quick. There's some drama going on between two billionaires. Well, no one knows if Trump's actually a billionaire, but between two billionaires, Jeff Bezos and Trump. If you guys want to check that out, go to Bezos Stunning Blackmail Charge Intensifies Proxy War with Trump, and that's on yahoo.com. This is some other quick news that I just want to skim by. So crypto customers lost 110 million euro after founder died. It won't be the last investor wipeout. So I've read some similar news to this yesterday where 30-year-old co-founder was apparently the only person with the password to exchange in the digital safe. As a result, roughly 190 million Canadian or $110 million euro, $132 million American dollars. Customers' money is now likely lost forever. So this is what apparently happens. The founder of this Quadriga CX went to India and he died because of, let's see if we can find it here. But I did touch up on my video yesterday. So it's unusual for the founder to die, but there are certainly going to be instances where the founder loses the key. There's no reason this should be one of, as long as people are this cavalier with these assets. So founder died. No one has access to the passwords, not the wife, not their partners. 190 million Canadian dollars just disappeared into thin air. A lot of people are saying this is like a scam, a scheme, but for now, this is something that I really am interested in. I know it's crypto. A lot of people don't really care much about crypto, which I don't blame them. Look what's happening after BitConnect. Now this, like, people are just losing their money left, right, and center in crypto. But that's it for now. If you guys want to read that, check out this title and type it out on Yahoo Finance. So some other interesting news is Tencent buys another stake in U.S. social network, Reddit. So Tencent has not been very successful in their investments because as we know right here, Tencent became Snapchat's biggest shareholder in the late 2017. And Snapchat, over the past 12 months, Snap has shed 40% of its value, making it not only unusual, but also potentially poor long-term investment for Tencent. But let's just go on to how fast Reddit is growing. Reddit has over 300 million MAUs visiting 150,000 subreddits. It claimed that it reached 1.4 billion video views per month last December, representing 40% increase for just 2 months earlier. Reddit also started a sell cost per click ads, cost per impression ads, promoted post and video ads. Its revenue surpassed 100 million in 2018, according to CNBC, fueled by a 22% jump in engagement. 30% increase in total views. However, Reddit's heavy dependence on venture capital suggests that it isn't profitable. Tencent will reportedly invest $100 million into Reddit, which would make it one of the social platform's top stakeholders. I think this might negatively impact Tencent stocks, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a huge decline or a small decline in Tencent, mostly because they're giving up a decent amount of cash, $150 million. So yeah, if you guys want to read that full article, you guys could go on Yahoo Finance. Let's move on to some other news. Tesla Model 3 European debut puts fans watch for Musk visit. So first of all, Tesla Model 3's got approved in Europe. So I'm just going to read something. It's not on the computer, but it's Model 3 lands European approval for Autopilot. So Tesla's Autopilot feature has been approved in Europe for the Model 3 vehicle, according to Bloomberg. The approval for the feature arrived this morning from Netherlands Vehicle Authority. As the first shipment of Tesla's much anticipated Model 3 lands in Europe, the prospect of Elon Musk following suit has sparked feverish speculation among his many fans. And this just proves Elon Musk is loved worldwide. Tesla's loved worldwide. So this might be some good news for Tesla. Once again, I'm not going to read this whole article, but if you guys want to check it out, go on Yahoo Finance and type in Tesla's Model 3 European debut puts fans on watch for Musk. Let's go on to some other news, which is Apple looks really serious about building this key component. So a little while back, information reported that Apple, which is renowned for building some of the world's best smartphone application processors, is developing its own cellular modem technology, presumably for use in products like the iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. While other smartphone chip makers, both merchant vendors that make their money selling chips to third-party smartphone makers, as well as direct competitors to Apple itself, have long built and sold their own modems, Apple has historically relied on third parties for modem supplies. So great chip leadership. Apple's application processors have evolved significantly over. So how will this impact the business? So while there might be cost advantages for Apple to build its own modem technology rather than buy it from a third party, as I've indicated before, I don't think that would be the main motivation for Apple here, especially given how expensive and risky developing modems ultimately is. Instead, this seems to be about Apple trying to take control of a technology critical to the product line that makes up the bulk of the company's revenue and putting more of its fate in its own hands. To be clear, I don't think this in-house modem development is going to yield some massive competitive advantage for Apple, nor is it going to fundamentally transform the company's overall product cost structure. What those efforts should ultimately deliver, though, is control of the components that's fundamental to the company's biggest revenue and profit source, the iPhone. If I were an Apple shareholder, I'd say that whatever Apple is investing in these efforts is well worth it, even if the only real return is a peace of mind. So what do you guys think about this? Is this good or bad news for Apple? To me, they kind of made it seem like it's not going to impact the stock. It's just going to be good for the peace of mind. Only time will tell. We'll see how this news develops. But if you guys want to read the full article, type in this title right here. So let's move on to some marijuana news. I'm sure that's what you guys were all waiting for. I don't know if you guys hear the little puppies. So the first bill emerges this year to legalize marijuana in Illinois, would allow up to 24 plants at home. I was surprised to see that number because in Canada, we're legally allowed to carry, I think it's 4 or 5 plants, depending which province. But to allow 24 plants at home, that means like you are legally able to be a drug dealer in Illinois because you can plant 24 plants. That's a crazy amount. But yeah, the Democratic state lawmaker has filed a bill to legalize recreational marijuana in Illinois that likely goes further than other legislators prefer, but it has officially started debate over complex legislation that will need to serve many interests. The bill, introduced January 25th by Rep. Carol Amons of Urbana, would allow licensed businesses to grow and sell pot and residents to grow up to 24 plants at home. So if you're able to grow 24 plants at home, why are you even going to bother buying marijuana from someone else? You pretty much have enough weed to last you. I don't know. Personally, for me, 24 plants would last me a lifetime. Maybe for some people that might last a year. I'm not sure, but that would last me a lifetime. In Canada, we're only allowed to plant 4 or 5. What do you guys think is a good number? Do you think 24 is too high, not enough? Or do you think 4 or 5 plants isn't enough? Because that's what the laws in Canada are. I already talked about this on my live stream this morning, that Aurora Cannabis announces confirmed time for its conference call to discuss second quarter 2019 results. So I actually will 99% be live streaming this conference call which will be on February 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time by Terry Booth, Chief Executive Officer, and also Cam Batley will be there, Michael Singer, chairman of the board, followed by a question and answer period. The company will report its financial results for the second quarter after the close of the market on Monday, February 11th. So they announced that they are expected to have $50 to $55 million in gross revenue. I think that they're underestimating themselves. Maybe they're stealing a page from Apple's books, because I remember Apple made an announcement that their revenue is not going to be as high, and they kind of lowered expectations. And then when the announcements came up, it was actually higher than what was expected, higher than what they would announce. And then Apple share prices went up. So they announced that they're going to get $50 to $55 million in gross revenue. And I think that we're going to be more in the 60s, 65s. This is just thought though. Maybe they strategized and gave us lower expectations so that if they announce 60 to 65 million, share prices might shoot up because we're only expecting 50 to 55. I did make a video where I thought their gross revenue is going to increase by at least 80%, which puts them at 53 million, which probably, I think it might be more. Maybe it'll be close to 90. I won't be surprised to see their gross revenue increase by 100%, but this is all speculation. So 6 p.m. on February 11th, they're going to have a conference call to discuss second quarter results. So that's going to be very interesting for Aurora Cannabis. Oh man, do you guys hear those little puppies? One of them, I think it was the first one that came out, thinks she's in charge, and she's just super noisy. So what to expect from cannabis stocks this earnings season? So they talk about 4 companies: Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth, Cronos Group, and Tilray will be reporting results for the quarter ended December 31st over the coming weeks. While I won't be surprised that most of these companies will report substantial revenue growth, it's unlikely that investors will see any positive numbers on these companies' bottom lines. So growing potential. As cannabis became legal in Canada, businesses had to scale production, which required substantial investments. Moreover, Canadian companies have been making deals overseas to expand their reach. Let's just go straight to what they think is going to happen. So Aurora Cannabis is scheduled to report February 11th. The company already disappointed investors earlier this month when it released lower than expected revenue guidance for the quarter. So investors won't have very high expectations, which is what I think Aurora is doing on purpose to lower our expectations. That way we don't have high expectations for them. Although the company also said it expects to be cash flow positive in the second calendar quarter. Aurora's fiscal second quarter guidance is 50 to 55 million versus a consensus estimate of 67 million. For the previous quarter, Aurora reported a profit of 105 million, but up 32% sequentially. However, the company said that the increase was largely attributed to its investments in other cannabis businesses. So their guidance is 50 to 55 million. They had a consensus estimate of 67 million. I think that Aurora is underestimating or just lowering our expectations a bit, because they're probably going to announce somewhere between 55 to 67 million. And that was maybe their strategy. They're probably taking a page out of Apple's books. They're lowering our expectations, because if they didn't lower our expectations and we were expecting $67 million gross revenue, we would be disappointed to see 60 million. But let's say they lowered our expectations to 50, 55 million. They announced 60 million. We might be a little excited. Who knows? That's not for sure. That's just kind of my thoughts, my speculation as to what I think they're doing, but who knows? Next in line is Canopy Growth, which is scheduled to release its results for the fiscal third quarter, February 14th. For the second quarter, Cronos revenue amounted to 17.7 million, and it had a net loss of 76 cents per share. I don't know why they said for the second quarter Cronos. I think they messed up there. I think all eyes will be on Canopy Growth, as sales are expected to be about 90 million, which is a big jump from the prior quarter. The company has given no indication of when it expects to be cash flow positive, so it will be interesting to see if they follow Aurora's lead and share some perspective on this metric. So now for Cronos Group is expected to post its fourth quarter results February 22nd, although it has not been officially confirmed. The results will compare with the revenue of 1.02 million posted for the same quarter of fiscal 2018 and 2.85 million reported for the last quarter. For the third quarter, Cronos posted a net loss of 3 cents per share. Let's move on to Tilray. Tilray should also file its fourth quarter earnings on February 22nd. Analysts expect the cannabis producer to report revenue of 12.83 million versus the previous quarter results of 10. The bottom line consensus estimate is for a loss of 14 cents, narrower than the loss of 20 cents a quarter earlier. Although in December, Tilray's subsidiary High Park signed a partnership agreement with InBev, which is ticker symbol BUD, Labatt Breweries of Canada. The partnership focused on research of non-alcoholic beverages containing THC and CBD is likely to be one of the highlights of the financial reports and earnings calls. So there you have it. Tilray, February 22nd. Cronos, February 22nd. Canopy Growth, February 14th, and Aurora, February 11th. So keep a lookout for those earnings. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think it was too quick. I tried to make it as quick as possible, but if you enjoyed this, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that notification bell, smash that subscribe button. I'm going to try to have a post-market video for you guys, keep you guys updated on how post-market is looking, and maybe update you guys if any new news comes along. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.